welcome to the Fables Knitting Podcast. My name is Faith and I'm a knitter living here in Kansas, and this is my creative space where I talk all about my knitting and love for yarn, and sometimes I show my spinning. Thank you for clicking on my video. Today I just have a traditional podcast, so I hope you enjoy. So I would just like to mention that I did not upload a video last week. That's not really like me. I try to have a video uploaded every week. I did have a video filmed. When I was editing it, I noticed that my tongue was blue because I had a popsicle before filming, and I didn't notice it until a couple days later when I was editing it, and I did not want to put that video up. I've been getting a lot of negative comments on my videos recently, and I just don't want my content to not be good on my channel, pretty much. So I didn't move forward with editing the video and uploading it, so I apologize if you're looking forward to my video last Saturday. But I'm here today with a podcast. That's all that matters. Last week was also just very stressful with work. Yeah, I come home from work very drained and mentally exhausted. So pretty much when I come home from work, I eat and I go to sleep. So, but yeah, anyway, I'm here with a podcast. I have one finished object. I have a few of my whips. I'm not showing all of them. I have a yarn acquisition and a lot of buttons to show you. So yeah, let's just get right into it. I'm wearing my red cedar sweater by Jessica McDonald. I knit this last summer. The yarn I used is Queensland Collection Kathmandu fingering, which is a wool, silk, and cashmere blend. It's a fingering weight, obviously. So this color is natural, I believe. And then for the contrast colors, I actually used Mountain Meadow Wool Saratoga, which is 100% merino wool. This maroon color is brick, and then this blue is denim. My one finished object is my Pascalle sweater that I test knit for Anna from Gregoria Fibers. And this is what it looks like. So it's a boat neck construction. It's drop shoulder, and you do some arm increases, which I really enjoy in a pattern. And they look pretty neat. You can see that increase line. I really like the way this looks around the collar of a sweater. So the way you construct this is pretty much like a regular drop shoulder. You cast on the back and you do a few short rows, and then you knit the back, you do some armhole increases, and then you leave those on hold, and then you cast on for the front. It's not like you knit this piece and knit this piece. You're just knitting, well, you cast on the same amount of stitches as you did the back, and then you just knit the front, you do the armhole increases, and then you join in the round. But then there is this detail for the collar of the boat neck, and you just treat it as you would a double knit button band. Pretty much you just pick up stitches and you knit, I guess, horizontally this way. But yeah, I really like the process of that. It went by pretty fast. The boat neck is supposed to be a little bit wider, but I didn't really like the way that was looking on me. I just knew it'd probably fall off my shoulders, and like my bra straps were showing no matter what kind of bra I wore, and if I pushed my bra strap too far this way, it would just slide off. So I just seemed a little bit closer here. I'll put in some pictures of me wearing it. But no, you do, when you're finished with these little plackets right here, you do seam them together on the top. Mine's not very neat. I tried to look up like a mattress stitch seam, and the video was just too long for, like, it took 5 minutes for the person to like actually like do the thing, and I was just like, you know what, I'm just gonna seam it however I seam it. And it's not a whip stitch, it's not a mattress stitch, it's just like a, but it works, I guess. The yarn I used is Lion Brand Woolies in the color Wheat, so it's this off-white base with these black and brown little, I don't even know what it is. It's Woolies is like a acrylic wool blend, so I'm assuming that these colors in here are acrylic. So I have my notes over here, so I'm sorry if I keep looking this way. But I started this on May 29th and I finished it June 14th. I had 4 weeks to test knit this. I haven't received any email saying that the test knit was over, but I did fill out the Google form when I finished this. I have no clue when the pattern's coming out, so I'll be sure to let you guys know, and I will be posting this on Instagram as well. But I knit size 4, and I used 939.7 yards or 405 grams. But yeah, I'm going to do a quick calculation so I can tell you how much this sweater cost me. In total, this sweater cost me about $27, which I feel like it's a pretty good price for a sweater. I do like the Lion Brand Woolies. I don't like the amount of acrylic that's in it. But I think it's a good yarn to use if you're gift knitting. I do find that the yarn is quite splitty and squeaky if you're using wood needles. So if that stuff bothers you, I recommend using metal needles. That's what I used, and I had no trouble with that. So unfortunately, I won't be able to wear this anytime soon. Kansas is very hot at the moment and humid, and I don't have a lot of summer knits or summer garments that I wear, so I always foolishly wear wool outside and I sweat a lot in it. So this is just going to sit in my closet until it is cool enough to wear a thick sweater like this, which I don't think will be until October or November. So I have a few that I feel like I haven't shown in a long time, which I think is super exciting. I think every time I've podcasted, I've shown kind of the same ones. But I have my Una sweater by Irene Lynn to show you, and I got a sleeve done, which is super exciting. I started this February 10th of this year, and I'm knitting size 4, and the yarn I'm using is HiKoo by Skacel, Highland Luxe, in the color Mist. It's a wool mohair blend. So far I've used 3 skeins, and this is my 4th one. So I'm very excited to have this done. I won't be able to wear it anytime soon. I'll probably try to get away with it. But when I tried this on, it didn't look the way I thought it would. I think in the pattern, the yarn she uses is cashmere, Cardiff cashmere or something. I don't have the money for that. So, I'm just using this DK weight yarn. And I looked up a lot of projects on Ravelry, and I looked through the hashtag on Instagram, and a lot of people's versions don't look like the pattern at all. I'll put in a picture of the pattern. And when I tried this on, it's not as like billowy as the pattern looks, because the sleeves are supposed to like be like that sort of. And I haven't blocked this, and when I do, I'm really going to stretch out the ribbing so that way but not this ribbing, just up here. So that way this cuff stays quite small. I'm kind of playing around with the idea of doing decreases before I do the ribbing on the body. Just because I want it to stitch in like how it shows in the pattern. But there's no decreases at the body, they're only in the sleeve. And I don't think doing the ribbing in the needle that I'm supposed to is going to give me that effect. And I'm also just not using the yarn that's recommended, so I can expect that it's not going to exactly look like how the pattern says. But whatever, it's not that bad. I don't know. I don't really know what I'm trying to say. But yeah, I have probably 15 more rounds on the body, and then I'll do the ribbing. I'm not sure if I will do decreases or not. But yeah, and then I'll do the other sleeve. So I did notice that this collar is quite wide. A little too wide for my liking. It kind of just sits out like this, and it's really strange. It doesn't look good when I pull it down because then it's just flat around my neck and it doesn't sit up like a blouse style shirt does. So I think I might put in some elastic at the top of the neckline and see how that goes, but I'm not really going to decide on that until it's blocked. But no, I'm really excited to finish this. It's been a project for so long. But yeah, that's my Una sweater. Another project that I feel like I haven't shown off in a while is my Birds of a Feather shawl by Andrea Mowry. I started this February 18th of this year, and the yarn I'm using is Fuzzy Peach Fibers, Soft Sock, and Feather, which is her mohair base, in the color Gunsynd, which is this really pretty white base with orange and ice blue and brown speckles in it. So I'm nearly done with this. I have, I don't know how I'm gonna show this, but it's nearly done. Let me try to hold this up for you. There's the bottom of it, and then here it is now. So I just have to finish up this this section right here, and then I'm doing another mohair section, and then I just have the border left. So hopefully, maybe this will be done by either the next podcast if I get around to it, if it's like next scheduled in my list of projects, or it'll be the next podcast that I film. But here's where I was last time, and that's how much that I got done. So I'm so excited to finish this. I love the way the yarn looks, especially the mohair. I really like the striping effect. I just really like the contrast between the mohair and the just the fingering weight merino. But I'm super excited to have this finished almost. So yeah, this has also just been really fun to work on. I kind of just want one in every single hand-dyed color that there is, just because it's so fun to work on. But I'm still on my first skein of merino. I think I will have to wind, so I have 3 skeins of the merino and 3 skeins of the mohair. So I will unfortunately have to wind up the second one and probably just use like 5 grams of it for the border, which is going to be annoying. But I don't know if I'll have to wind up another skein of mohair, because there's obviously more mohair than there is merino. So yeah, that's my Birds of a Feather by Andrea Mowry. I finally have gotten a decent amount of progress done on my fortune sweater that I feel okay with showing it. I have my fortune sweater by Petite Knit. And I started this March 18th and I'm knitting the medium size, and the yarn I'm using is from Zakami yarns. It's the organic non-superwash merino and the Suri alpaca in the color Cailleach. And here it is. You can't really tell because I just started this last night. But I've started the ribbing, and yeah, so I'm so happy to have finally gotten to this point because I just feel like it's been taking so long to knit this. It's very fun to work on, and the yarn is very luxurious and soft, and I love the copper color of this. So yeah, I think I'm doing about 20 rounds of ribbing, and then the sleeves are 3/4 length with the cinched in cuff, which I'm really excited for. So yeah, I can't wait for this to be done, and I can't wait to block it so that you can see the lace clover details. Yeah. So far I've used 1 skein of each. But yeah, I really enjoy a non-superwash merino. I really like Zakami's yarn. They have a lot of beautiful colorways, and I think I will be purchasing some yarn from them in the future. A project that we've seen a lot here is my Dunes cardigan by Cailleach. I've finished the button band. It looks a little weird because I did an Italian bind off and it's not blocked yet, so it's not sitting very nicely, so it just looks strange. But the button band is done. I haven't picked up for the other sleeve yet. But yeah, so this should be finished pretty shortly. The sleeves don't take very long to knit. So yeah, I did 14 rounds of ribbing for the body and for the sleeve, and I was going to do the same for the button placket, but it was getting to be a little too thick, and I wanted it to be thick because you're supposed to knit this on a 6mm needle, and so I wanted to have enough fabric for it to close. So it is a bit of a thicker button band, but I didn't want it to be any thicker than this, so I only did 11 or 10. I think I did 11 rows of ribbing, and I added buttonholes right here. You can't see them. When I do a 1x1 or any ribbed button placket, I just like to cast off stitches. I don't like doing a yarn over. I think whenever I've done a yarn over in a button placket, it's always have gotten tangled when I've put a button through it. And I like to do the same on double knitted button bands too. I don't know, it's easy and I like doing it that way. So, yeah. But that's my Dunes cardigan. I can't wait to wear this. I have a couple dresses that I think would go really good with this color. So yeah, the yarn I'm using is Patons Classic Wool Worsted. The yarn I'm using is Patons Classic Wool Worsted in the color Natural Mix. So far I've used 3 skeins. And yeah, I started this on May 1st. So it's been on my needles for about a month, and I can't wait to finish it. So I got accepted into a test knit for Emma from the New York year. She called for testers for her Alma Mitts, and I got accepted, so obviously I'm test knitting the design. I started this June 14th. It has to be finished by July 5th, but only one of them. The size I'm knitting is 2, and the yarn I'm using is actually hand-dyed yarn from my friend Abby. We had a podcast together when I was living in Wyoming, but she gave me this as a gift for Christmas. It is her hand-dyed yarn that she dyed naturally with onion skins, and it is very beautiful. And for the longest time, like, I thought I was going to knit socks with this, and then I was gonna knit a hat, but then this test knitting opportunity came up and I was like, I'll use this yarn for it. So it's a textured glove. There's seed stitch right here, and then there's these I don't really know what this is. You just twist stitches either left or right, and it creates this little pattern right here, which it's actually pretty fun. And then there's just this 2x2 rib. I'll put it on my hand so you can see what it looks like. So that's what it looks like on my hand. Yeah, I really like the way this yarn is striping too. It's really fun. But I'm obviously on the thumb ribbing, and I've loved every bit of this pattern except for this thumb part. It is so fiddly. This is on a 2.25 millimeter needle. I don't have like a 32-inch long 2.25 needle to do magic loop, so I'm using double pointed needles, and it's the worst thing I've ever done in my life. So when this pattern comes out and when you go to knit it, please use magic loop for the thumb, because I'm not having a fun time with this. Especially when I was picking up stitches, and yeah, it wasn't fun, but I'm almost done. So that's exciting. And since I had 2 weeks left of this test knit to complete one, I was working on this every other day. So tomorrow this will be finished, and I can block it, take pictures of it, and fill out my feedback form. And then I'll put this back into just my regular pattern or project rotation, because there won't be a need for me to be working on this every other day since I only had to finish one. So yes, this is the Alma Mitts by the New York Gear, coming to you soon. Okay, I did mention that I have some acquisitions. We went to Hobby Lobby a couple days ago, and I just wanted to buy yarn. I've been looking for buttons, so I'll show those in a minute. But I just bought a sweater's quantity of yarn. I love this wool in the color umber. So this is the 100% wool from Hobby Lobby. They only have 4 colors, and I've used the other 3, so this is the last one that I needed to use, because I don't really like repeating colors from yarns. It's kind of boring to me. So I've used ivory, cocoa, which I'm using in my woodstone wrap, and biscuit, which is in a sweater that I'm actually going to be frogging at some point, because I just don't wear that sweater. So yeah, I bought this to make the Semper sweater by the Knit Pearl Girl. I've knit one before in blue. It's a little too small for me because I misread the pattern. I thought it said to use a 4mm needle, but it actually said to use a 4.5, and I just picked too small of a size for me. So I will be knitting a Semper sweater in this brown color with the right needle size and a good size for me, but I also applied for just a regular drop shoulder test knit. I don't know if I'm going to be getting it, so I'm also thinking I could use this as well. But I also have some drops air coming that I could use for the test knit, but we'll see what this will be. So yeah, I think I have 5 of these. Okay. If you don't care for buttons, then I'm sorry. But I have a whole bunch of buttons to show because they're on sale at Hobby Lobby. So, well, some of them I got at Walmart, so I'll just show those real quick. So, I got these ones at Walmart. They're very pretty. They're more grayish in person, but I think they look really good with a cardigan. So yeah, I already have buttons picked out for my champagne cardigan and my dunes cardigan. But there are a few cardigans that I want to make this year. I want to make the peacock cardigan and that navy blue yarn that I showed last time from Blue Sky Fibers. And I want to knit another cardigan number 7 in the Juniper Moon Farms Beatrix. I have it in an orange color. Is there another cardigan that I want to knit the Semper cardigan V-neck, but anyway. So toggle buttons are all the rage right now. So I just bought some from Walmart. These are what they look like. They're just a wood button. I'm not sure what I'm going to use them for, but I typically use 3 to 4 buttons for my cardigans. So I have 4. And then for my cardigan number 7 that I'm going to be making, I'll put in a picture of what the yarn looks like. I thought these buttons would look really good with it. They're a redder, like a red rust kind of color. And I think they would just look really good with that. So I'm going to be holding on to these for that cardigan when I make it. I'm not sure how many buttons it calls for. I think 5 or 6. So I'll have 2 left over for something. And for the peacock cardigan, I think that calls for 7 buttons and they're quite small. So I just got these. And I think it'll look really good with the yarn that I have picked out for that cardigan. And then I just thought these were pretty. They're wood with, I think, like a resin coating on them that's gray. But they're shiny. And yeah, I just thought they were different. I really like them. The reason why I bought so many buttons is because I do have a jar of wood buttons that I just bought from Walmart. But a lot of those are just like random buttons where there's only one of them, and I've used a lot of the ones that were kind of similar or the same on other cardigans, and I'm finding that there's not a lot of buttons that, because this is typically the size that I use for a button, but a lot of the buttons in there are smaller, like really small, and I just don't have a purpose for those right now. So I'm still holding on to them for something, just in case. But I figured for the projects that I have planned, I would get some buttons in advance. So yeah, those are my acquisitions. Next week, I'm gonna get all this stuff out of the way because I'll probably talk about some life things. Next week I will be uploading a vlog. I'll probably start it sometime this week. It's Monday. I typically film on Sundays and then upload on Saturdays. But I'll probably start that at some point. So yeah, there'll be a vlog next week. But that's all the knitting talk that I have. If you're interested in some more personal things, you can stick around. So, as you can see, I have a new couch. And it is so nice. The other couch that I had, it's in the knitting room. We still have it. It's just a leather futon, and it feels like sitting on a rock compared to this chair. So this is a love seat, and then we have a 3-seater over here. And they're so nice. I love them. It looks like people live here now. The only thing that like we really need in this house is a dining table over there. And then like I kind of want something to put a microwave, a coffee maker, and like an air fryer or something over there too as well, so it doesn't look so empty. But then like behind over here, I want to get like a table where I can just put things on so that it looks pretty, and then I want to put some pictures over there too. This house is slowly starting to come together. I love decorating, but I have a hard time of saying no to things and like over decorating, you know. There's a painting over here that we just put up. I found it at Target and I really like it. I'll have to put in a picture of it or something, I don't know. But yeah, we have couches and they're so comfortable. So that's been really nice. I think my boyfriend's sister is going to be staying with us for a couple days for the 4th of July. That'll be super nice. Work has been very stressful. I'm a dispatcher. I'm a 911 dispatcher. And my training is 6 months long. I'll be done with it in November, and that's if like I pass everything. And I really enjoy the people I work with, and it's really nice. And for a while I was just putting in practice calls and just observing really. And these past 2 weeks I've been answering calls, not emergency calls yet, but they want me to start doing that next week, and I don't think I'm ready for that, just based off like the calls that like I just don't know where anything is here, and geography is like a big part of the job, and like knowing where things are at. It's so hard for me to, because I've never been here before. Like I just moved here, I don't know where anything is, and they're not very understanding about that. And that's what's so hard, is they're expecting me to know where these things are at, but I don't know. So I've been doing a lot of studying on that, but I've just been taking like internal calls, and when people call like the non-emergency lines or like just the police department in general, I answer those calls. So next week I'll be taking emergency calls, and I'm kind of like, I feel like I'm ready, but like I'm also like kind of scared, but it's not that big of a deal. Like I've listened to them, but like it's a job where you always have to be prepared for like the worst things, you know. I feel comfortable talking about this because like we've posted it on like the social media, but like a house exploded here because of a gas leak. And my boyfriend's a firefighter. He works next to me, so he told me about what happened. Like I wasn't working that day, thank goodness. But a house exploded here, and then there was an accident, and then there was another accident, and then there was like a gasoline spill at the gas station, like one right after the other. So you kind of have to be prepared for all of those things to just happen all at the same time. And I've been down in like our dispatch room, you know, listening to calls and just observing, and like it's so crazy how so many things happen all at the same time. Like it'll be like quiet and slow, and then just suddenly like there's 2 injury accidents and like all these things happening, which is really eye-opening for me because I live kind of out in the county, so I don't hear sirens, which is so nice. I don't really know what goes on in town because I'm all the way out here. So it's just crazy to like, it's just crazy to see someone like having a bad day or like having something bad happen to them, and you're like, okay, well, I was just at home, like I just went to the grocery store today, like I did all these nice and fun things, while someone just went through something like bad, you know, I don't know. So that's been really interesting to think about. I'm very grateful for the things that I have. I'm trying not to jinx anything right now. But yeah, as I said, next week there will be a vlog, hopefully. I feel so bad for like not uploading last week, but I was so mad that my tongue was blue that I just was not okay with like putting that video up, and just the lighting was bad. And I didn't put mascara on like my under lashes here, and it was just a mess. So I apologize if you're looking forward to a video from me. I'm sorry. I'm most of the time am pretty consistent with YouTube, and like that was the only time that I slipped up, and it's like bothering me because I've been getting a lot of negative comments, which don't bother me. They kind of make me laugh because I don't know, but on Instagram and on YouTube, I've just been deleting them and not really acknowledging them. But yeah, I'm almost at 200 subscribers, which is so crazy to think that like after almost a year, I'm almost at 200 subscribers, which I feel like it shouldn't have taken me that long to get to 200 subscribers. I mean, I'm not even there yet, but because I've seen a lot of people who upload a video and then they just pop off and they have like 2,000 subscribers within like a month or something. And that just hasn't been the case for me. Not that it's about like numbers and stuff. Like I really enjoy the space that I have, and like I can't just talk to anyone about my knitting. Like I can talk to my boyfriend about it. I can't really talk to my sister about it, or people I work with, or just family members about it. So it's really nice to have this space where we can all just like talk about knitting. But it just makes me feel like I'm doing something wrong. I don't know, but yeah, that's all I have to talk about. I am on Instagram as the.redhead.knits, and my Ravelry username is Knits by Faith. I post on Instagram quite frequently, so if you would like to see some more project updates, you can go check out my Instagram. Everything will be linked down below. Projects that I've been working on, my social medias, all that jazz. So, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.